Hello everybody, welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host as always, John Maffio, coming back at you with another movie review. This one comes from distributor Netflix, directed by Martin Scorsese, Marty. It stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, amongst a great many others. It's The Irishman, the 3.5-hour epic, and I've been wanting to watch this for a while. It took me the whole weekend to finally get around to it. I watched it in one sitting, and I gotta say, for the first 2 hours, it was pretty much what I expected. It's a really well-directed, well-edited movie that does harken back to familiar territory if you're a fan of Martin Scorsese movies, or movies that starred Robert De Niro back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The Goodfellas, the Casinos, the Mean Streets of the world. You get that taste of really great food that you had at a great restaurant that you haven't been to in a long time, or you've just been to different places that the same owner has created. But in this case, you're going back to something that you really like. But then the third act did something that really perked my ears up and brought me into this reflective state of mind of existentialism that just hit me in the feels so hard that brought this from a really good movie that I respect to a movie that I adore. And it's a movie I'm not going to forget because of those last 30 minutes or so, where, not to spoil anything, and it also recontextualizes the entire movie based on how you saw it, watching it as like this mobster movie that has a bunch of older actors that we know and love that aren't past their prime. They just haven't really been back in the spot for a long time. Seeing them all in the cinematic environment that their careers were boosted on is really cool, and it's really engaging. And of course, the editing is really good for a 3.5-hour movie. The pace, it doesn't move at a break-fast pace, but everything is important, and every dialogue exchange feels like it means something. All of these scenes are naturally entangled within one another, and they all, eventually, in my opinion, go to a place. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but for me, the way I experienced this when I was engrossed in this movie, where I was just watching it, and I'm watching these characters that are based on real people. Obviously, it's not word for word or moment for moment exactly what happened. It's a depiction of real-life events dramatized for movies. But you're seeing all this going through, and it's like, yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really getting what I expected out of this. And then this movie elevates to that next level that puts it above most other movies that I've seen this year, personally. It goes without saying, but the acting across the board is pretty good. Some performances are just great. I think Al Pacino, he's yelling a lot as Jimmy Hoffa, but it's Al Pacino at some of his best, because I feel like he gets some great nuance out of this role, and he just eats up the scenery bit by bit. Joe Pesci, who, if you know Joe Pesci as an actor, he's known for being that over-the-top, obnoxious guy. Goodfellas, Home Alone, My Cousin Vinny, but in this movie, he's got this tranquil calmness. It's an unexpectedly pleasant surprise of a performance out of Joe Pesci in this movie. He's intimidating like you'd think he'd be, but he's also a softie. He's a little puppy who feels that family is very important, and family and keeping family close is one of the big themes of this movie. The consequences of neglecting family and how that can affect one's life in this livelihood that these characters and people from real life partook in. Seeing the progression of De Niro's character in this process is, in a way, really heartbreaking. And obviously there's no romanticizing here. These characters get what they deserve. They're bad people committing crimes and doing bad things. And in the end, you see it in subtle ways and in obvious ways. People get what's coming to them. But you can't help but also feel sad for them, because you still see in a really organic way the humanity in these people. And it makes this last half hour, this last act of the movie, all the more tragic. Little things I want to touch upon before I end the review. Anna Paquin's character, she plays Peggy, Robert De Niro's oldest daughter, I'm pretty sure. There was a whole chaotic discourse on the internet about her character and her lack of dialogue, but I understood completely why there was a lack of dialogue and the impact that it leaves when she actually does speak in the movie, and it was very clear to me what Scorsese was going for in this, and I just don't understand why people are so mad about this whole ordeal. But whatever. Bypass that now. That's all I wanted to say on that. Sebastian Maniscalco is in this movie as Crazy Joe Gallo, and this guy is on top of the world right now. He's at his highest comedically, and he actually brought more to this role than I expected, and I think he has one of the most memorable sequences and moments in this entire movie. There's a whole dialogue exchange between Pacino and De Niro about lateness when they're waiting for people to show up at a meeting, I think is one of the best parts of the movie, and I want to just watch that scene over and over again because it's so good. One of the most topical aspects of this movie going into production before it released was the CGI, the digital makeup on the main characters of this movie. This film does cover a big chunk of these characters' lives, so we see them from like their, I guess, mid to late 40s to like their eldest, and the CGI didn't bother me at all. I think it was actually really well done to the point where you notice it in the very beginning, but then it just kind of escapes you and you just get engrossed in the story. There was one scene that you've seen in the trailer that involves De Niro. It's a war scene, it's very brief, and it's the only part where I felt distracted visually by the CGI makeup. So overall, The Irishman, it's a really good movie that turns into a great one for me. In my opinion, a movie of this high of caliber in terms of expectations lives up to those expectations. It has everything you want in a movie. It has the humor, the acting, the suspense, the pacing that makes sense for this kind of movie. Again, to reiterate, it's one of my favorites of the year. It has everything that I want in a movie. I would recommend this to Scorsese fans or anybody who likes mobster movies. Just know going in that, yeah, obviously you can split it up because it's on Netflix. You can watch it in like hour if you don't have the time to watch it in one sitting. But do expect the typical familiar nature of a Scorsese mobster movie with more reflective nuances. But I think it makes the movie all the more stronger. But now I want to know from all you guys and gals, what did you think of The Irishman? Did you watch it during the holiday weekend? Did you see it in theaters, like in LA or New York or somewhere in this crazy big theater with a big audience? How is it seeing it in that way compared to watching it at home? Did you watch it both ways? If you enjoyed this video, it would be pretty cool beans if you liked it. If you rang the bell so you would be notified of a video from me just moving forward. If you commented down below about the video. And then if you haven't subscribed already, do that too if you want. I mean, it's your life, but I think it would be pretty cool if you did. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And that's it. Have a great, lovely week. Peace out. Bye-bye. Boobaloo, shkoobaloo, mama-da-moo, shikabadee. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just going to cut out before I exhaust myself. Bye-bye.